I didn't think I was ever gonna make this video, honestly. Just to cut to the point, here's a video on why I stopped smoking weed. If anybody knows me personally, they know I've been an avid marijuana smoker for probably almost 10 years. I started smoking when I was, I'd say consistently, when I was 14 years old. So should I start on why I started smoking weed? Okay, I'm just gonna start on why. I started smoking weed when I was like 14 years old, just for recreational purposes. I was smoking weed because I could. Like, it was just like the rush of doing something that I wasn't supposed to be doing was definitely a reason why I was doing it, because like I was a stupid kid. And it was very normalized around me. Everybody I knew basically made it okay to smoke weed, so like I never thought anything was wrong with it. Like, even till now, like even to this day as a 23-year-old, I don't think anything's wrong with it, but I definitely think the way that I was smoking was just not, it wasn't good, it wasn't healthy. I don't think I was not responsible with it. But and then it got to a point where I was smoking weed for like, I was smoking weed for the medical aspect of it. I was smoking weed for my own like anxiety. Like, I have really bad anxiety to this day. But I found a lot of comfort. I found a lot of comfort in smoking weed. So it would help me in social settings. It would help me not feel so uncomfortable. I'm a very awkward person. Like, if anybody knows me and they know me like not well, but you know me, I'm just awkward. Like, I don't know how to carry conversations. I don't know how to even start conversations with people. I'm more of a person that if I don't have to talk, I won't, especially to people that I don't know very well. But like, once you know me, it's so easy for me to talk, and I almost don't stop talking. So like, I guess like you just have to break through that shell, but it takes a really long time. So smoking weed, like, it did help me a lot. Like, if I felt like I had to go somewhere where I knew there was going to be a lot of people and I was going to be uncomfortable, I would go ahead and I'd smoke before, during, after, whatever. And I was smoking probably, I would say, the worst it got, I was smoking like 3 times a day, 4 times a day. I would smoke when I wake up, because I wake up with super bad anxiety. I wake up with like a pit in my stomach. I don't know how to explain that, but like, and I could never like pinpoint what it was, but I definitely woke up with just really bad anxiety. So I would just go smoke, and then I find myself like maybe like 1 p.m. wasn't doing anything, and I would think of things to do. But while I was thinking of things to do, I'm like, let me go smoke while I think of things to do. And it obviously just made me procrastinate more in the things that I wanted to do. So a lot of the friends that I did make, which is sad, a lot of the friends that I did make, I made through smoking. Like, it was just something that we had in common. I smoke, you smoke, so let's smoke. That's how I would start conversations. I would start a lot of conversations with just like, hey, do you smoke? Because again, I never knew how to start conversations, and I'm very fucking awkward. I'm working on it. But I thought for a long time, I really thought for a long time that me smoking weed was helping me in that aspect. I thought it was helping me be more social, but really I was just not aware of what the fuck was going on around me. A lot of people, I know you guys know, if you do smoke weed, like, things just become better. If I was getting into an argument with my fiance, I would go and I would just, mid-argument, I'd leave and I'd smoke weed, and then I'd come back and everything would be fine. Like, it wouldn't be fine, the issue would still be there, but I would be high to the point where it didn't matter to me. I didn't care about it anymore. And that really went with anyone. Like, if I was to get in an argument or have a disagreement with anyone, I would cut the disagreement short, and then I'd just be like, I'm gonna go smoke and make myself feel better, basically. Yeah, I was just doing that a lot. Everything I did was just like, I would have to smoke to do it. Like, even if I was going on a date with my fiance, like, I'd smoke before I go, just, and not necessarily because it's hard to be around my fiance, but really it's hard to be around other people. Then it got to a point where I was smoking so often for everything, you know, just like performances, stuff like that. And I know a lot of people go through this and nobody wants to admit it, but weed is very addicting. So like, it got to the point where my body was almost dependent on it. Not almost, it was dependent on it. I couldn't sleep without smoking weed. I couldn't eat without smoking weed. I really couldn't do anything without smoking weed. I just started realizing those things. I started noticing those things, and I didn't really like it. I didn't like it at all, honestly. One day my fiance asked me, he was like, are you enjoying things? Are you having good, or are you having a good time? Are you having fun, or are you just high? And then I'd be like, no, I'm actually having a good time. But really, like, in the back of my head, I knew, like, I don't know, like maybe it is because I'm just high. Like, it was things like that. I really didn't know. Like, I spent my teenage years going into my adult years, I spent smoking weed. So it got to a point where I didn't really even know myself. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know what I enjoyed. I just didn't know what I was like without it. But yeah, and he would ask me those things. Everybody would always ask me, like, do you ever think you're gonna stop smoking? Do you ever think you're gonna stop smoking? I'd be like, maybe when I get pregnant. I don't know, maybe one day. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't see myself doing it, because again, once the whole like teenage years passed and all that, like, you're not supposed to be smoking weed, but I was doing it anyway for like the rush of it too. I was 21 years old. I live in a state where it's legal to buy weed, so it was too accessible for me. So I was just smoking because I could at that point. Like, I didn't have a reason to smoke anymore. I was just smoking because I could. And I honestly don't know. I don't have a solid reason as to what made me want to stop, other than just the realization of I didn't really know who I was anymore. Like, I didn't know who I was as an adult or as a woman. I just didn't know. And really, I'm telling you, I really don't know. I really don't. It was like one day to the next where I just started getting tired of it. Like, I was tired of the thought. I was tired of the constant thought of like, I want to smoke weed, I want to smoke weed, during everything. And it got to a point where I would sit there and I still had a lot of weed left. And I would just be kind of disgusted with the smell. You get so used to the smell that you don't even smell it anymore, but everybody else does around you. I was just being more aware of like, my hands smell like smoked weed. I don't like that smell. My lips smell like smoked weed. I don't like that smell. Everything just smelled like weed, and I did not like the smell anymore. The smell of smoked weed grossed me out. Also, a lot of people don't know, but I just embarked on a new journey, which I don't really want to put too much detail into it, but I did. And it's something that I've always wanted to do. I just felt terrible going into it with such a foggy brain. Like, I would forget everything. Like, and I know it's normal to most people to, like, you walk into a room and you forget what you're about to do. But it was happening so often to me that I was actually starting to get frustrated with, like, my memory, because I want to retain everything that I'm learning. So like, when you're smoking weed, I don't care what anyone says, when you're smoking weed, it's hard to retain everything. I just felt like, you know what, this is something that I want to do, so I would leave this to do this type thing. So I was sacrificing the weed for this new journey that I wanted to embark on, and just so that I can retain it and actually go through with it. Because again, when you smoke weed, you procrastinate a lot. It was something that I was thinking about for so long, but because I was always smoking weed, it was something that I would push off, that eventually I'll do it. But like, it just got to a point where all these things started adding up, and I was just like, no, I don't think, like, this is just not something that I want to keep doing. Let me just pinpoint my reasons, because I feel like I'm going everywhere. I'm like going in a tangent. Number one, the social aspect. I wanted to face the fear of being socially awkward. I know I get really anxious about having to have conversations with people, so that was one. Two was this new journey that I wanted to do. I wanted to soak in everything, so my memory was one thing that I was really worried about. So that's two. Three, I just didn't know myself. I didn't know what I enjoyed. I didn't know what I didn't enjoy. Four, the aspect that my body depended on it. I hated it. I would smoke, go to sleep, and then wake up at like 4 a.m. and have to smoke again to go back to sleep. I know it sounds stupid, but like, I was not dreaming at all. Like, I would just sleep and not even fucking feel like I slept. Don't take my reasonings as to why, like, as for your valid for your reasonings, because like, again, everyone's different, but like, this is just my experience. This is just me. So number five, I was working out, but I was also smoking weed, and I was eating, drinking all this protein, eating all this protein, but I wasn't seeing myself gaining weight. I would sit there and be like, no, it's not because of the weed, it's not because of the weed. But I know it definitely was now, because now I don't smoke weed and I've gained a little bit of weight, and it's only been a month. This is hard, because I feel like I'm like scrambling, but like, this is the only way I know how to do it. I don't have anything written down. I don't have anything, like, this is just me off the top of my brain, like every reason that I could think of why I stopped smoking weed, because it was a lot of reasons. That shit is an addiction. Like, when you can't stop and you know it's bad for you, that shit is an addiction. Like, your body is asking for it all the time. Like, that's where I was at a place where I wasn't doing it for fun. My body was just asking me to just smoke. It's been 24 days since I stopped, almost 25 days since I stopped smoking weed. And I'm so glad that I did, and I really haven't looked back since. Like, everything that I was, my first entire full meal, I was so proud of myself. My first full night's sleep, I was so proud of myself. My first full day of not even thinking about it, I was so proud of myself. Like, going to the movies and not having to smoke before, I was so proud of myself. Being super proud of myself has been the best feeling I could have felt in such a long time. Just like, it feels so good to just be able to do these things, do the normal things that everyone does. Like, I always say, like, my fiance's been raw dogging life. He's been raw dogging life forever. The things that I now realize, like just being sober and like life is good, bro. Life is really good. Yeah, that's all that made me stop was me, honestly. Just being self-aware and not really liking the person that I was. And now I love the person that I am. I don't know. I hope me saying this, me telling you guys, I really hope this does help. And I give a lot of props to my fiance for being with me for this long during all of the shit that I was going through. Honestly, I wouldn't have proposed to me when I was smoking weed, because like, you didn't even know yourself. How do you know you love me? But like, obviously I know I love him, but like, that's just the thought process I would have. But yeah, I'm very proud. I'm very proud of myself. And I want to thank everybody too. I want to thank everybody who was in my messages telling me how proud they were of me as well. Everybody who's supporting just me and my journey. If I could just encourage anybody who wants to stop, I hope I did. I really hope I did. Thanks you guys for watching this video, and I will see you guys on the flip. Bye.